Dear students, today we are going to learn about what is conservation. Conservation is very important aspect of museums. So when they want to preserve museum object, conservation is very important. So objective of this lesson is to teach you about the various techniques of conservation in preserving the museum object, and also to highlight the various chances of destruction. What are the causes for the destruction of museum object, and how to preserve it, how to cure it. If the museum object gets destroyed, how to cure it, and also some of the aspect of conservative laboratory. So now let us see what is conservation. So all forms of direct and indirect action aimed at increasing the life expectancy of undamaged elements of cultural property is termed as restoration. There are three works in the museum. They are curative conservation and preservative conservation and restoration. And we'll see in detail what are these three types. Okay, first, curative conservation is when a unique piece is actively damaged, it needs curative conservation. For all the objects in the museum, we have to prevent from decaying or prevent from damaging. But if it get damaged, then you need to do this curative conservation. About 10% of the objects in the collection of museum is damaged for one reason or the other. So all these objects should be curated. Okay, what are the aggressions of cultural property? Immediate destruction, progressive destruction, public aggression. These are the three reasons in which cultural properties are destroyed. Then what are the preventive measures that we can take is, and we have to correct the level of heat and humidity inside the museum where the object is kept. So in order to maintain it, you should have full air conditioning, and we should have proper, well planned, well furnished storage, and also proper lighting also should be there, and use proper conservation techniques, and there should be some good surface for viewing, and it should be cleaned periodically. And facsimiles could be used instead of keeping the originals. So, and also the full instruction should be given to the users of this collection. So these are the preventive measures you can take. So we can classify the museum objects in the following way. They are metals, then organic objects, inorganic objects, and paintings. So metals and alloys from a major portion of museum collection will be there, and they would seem to be stronger, not durable, but not durable. They can be stronger but not durable. So in the ancient time, objects made out of gold, silver, copper, lead, iron, and they were used where is available in museum, and it should be preserved properly. Then organic objects, that is materials derived from living organisms such as plants, animals, and other organic objects. That is paper, textiles, palm leaves, wooden objects, feather, leather objects, bone, ivory objects. These all come under organic objects. Then inorganic objects, or the objects that are not organic is inorganic, like terracotta objects, glass objects, beads, stone, implements, and all these things. And paintings are very much complex in nature, and there are different types of paintings: cave paintings, wall paintings, oil paintings, and miniatures, etc. And what are the atmospheric factors which will affect the museum object is, the atmosphere plays an important role in the preservation as well as the deterioration of museum objects. So the atmosphere consists of light, heat, then pollutant, oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, carbon, ozone, etc. And control measures. What are the control measures of this biodeterioration is? There are a lot of measures to preserve this. Fumigation is one of the method. Then application of chemicals and general treatment of plants. Then insect trapping and non-toxic pest control can be used. Freeze drying can be used, and proper examination of objects. Examination of objects should be done properly, properly and also periodically. And gold, for example, to preserve gold, it is immersed in 1% solution of nitric acid. To silver, it is immersed in 10% solution of formic acid, and it will remove the black deposits, and it will dilute the ammonia solution, and then in dilute ammonia solution to remove the white deposits and all, and then it could be washed in the distilled water and dried and kept. So like that you can preserve silver objects. And lead also, there are some procedures over there. So for iron objects, we have to remove that the corrosion which is there in the iron objects, and that through chemicals it could be removed. And there are some electrochemical means are also used to preserve iron objects. Stone objects and deterioration of stone objects can happen due to quarrying, then dampness, soluble salt, temperature changes, atmospheric pollution, growth of moss, and growth of vegetation, and all these things that can. So how to preserve these stone objects? Remove the dirt and remove all soluble salts, removal of biological, that is like plants and everything, all these things. Then consolidation of stone object and restore those stone objects also. So other items, that is ceramics. So for mending the ceramics, acrylic resin is used, applied. Then there are also some of the objects of glass is there, and sometimes glass disease can come. So what you can do is you can use alkaline water in the glass, and we can remove the salts, and it can be washed with water and dried in rectified spirit, and it can be preserved. So wooden object, it is very much it could be destroyed by termite attack and fungi and all these things. So polyvinyl oxide or freeze drying method is used, and to preserve it. For paper based object, cellulose is used to preserve it. So there are so many methods of preserving the paper object. Chloramine tea, ammonia vapor is used, and for palm leaf manuscripts, fumigation is used. For textiles, 5% of polyvinyl oxide is used. For the leather objects, fumigation is used. Bone and ivory object also should be preserved, and paintings also preserved in using different types of chemicals. So a lot of facilities are needed to preserve these in the museum objects. Okay, those facilities are now furnitures, equipments, tools, chemicals, and all these things which I have mentioned should be there in the museum to conserve the museum object. Okay, there are a lot of organizations related to museums which takes lot of steps to conserve museum objects. So these are through above methods, museum object can be conserved, and it could be used to construct our past. Thank you, girls.